Okay, you've seen this. I mean, who hasn't seen this? It's everywhere, and it's resulted in a lot of hatred. And I want to explain why this event isn't what it seems. I don't have footage from this day. I didn't take any video other than that one, but I've collected enough because I've lived here a long time and I care about how people get around. So why was I so crazy? It was not the first, but the fifth vehicle that I had encountered blocking the bike lane in just 5 minutes of riding. There was a car, a truck, and an Amazon Prime van on these 2 blocks. I rode past the train gates, this is from the other direction for effect, and the train was actually going past that day when I was there. This is the only uninterrupted stretch that I had, and because the train was passing, I was able to continue through the light, and it was very nice. It felt just like this lovely sunny day, even though it was raining. And I want to remind people, when we talk about bike lanes, they're not just for bikes. They're for anyone getting around on small, slower wheels. And it's always a better way to get around. When I got to the Bay Wheels van blocking the bike lane, there was no way for me to go around without entering traffic. This guy should have known better. This was even more frustrating because there was an easy alternative for him. He had an enormous place to pull into right across from where he was parked. That would have enabled him to do what he needed to do without pushing people in the bike lane into traffic. I let him know he shouldn't be in the bike lane and carried on. So I've said if this were a regular ambulance, I wouldn't have bothered. Why was I so mad at the sight of San Francisco Fire Department? Well, our fire department has a long history of blocking slow streets, bike lanes, and other traffic calming measures. In March of 2014, the San Francisco Board of Supervisors declared a goal of reaching Vision Zero, or zero traffic deaths, within 10 years' time. But the San Francisco Fire Department has remained the biggest opponent to making our streets safer, putting the brakes on nearly everything submitted for their approval. In 2019, when traffic deaths rose to 40, Mayor Breed said she would make intersections safer. Then the pandemic happened, and they forgot. And we didn't improve like Paris and other cities around the world. Some neighborhoods did get slow streets and outdoor dining spaces, but others were vetoed by the fire department, as were barriers that would exclude or drastically limit motor vehicles. So, we saw a lot of conflict and wreckage. This past summer, the death toll rose higher, and supervisors voted to have a hearing within 2 weeks after every death from traffic violence. And the very next week, the fire department was telling the slow streets to remove their community-made signs and planters that made the street lovely and served as traffic calming. It will be a few weeks until the official numbers are released, but I'm pretty sure that we have at least matched the 2019 death toll. So yeah, seeing San Francisco Fire Department, the agency responsible for blocking safer streets, literally blocking a bike lane, was a bit too much. Why not go around or right over those things? So those tiny white armadillos are there for the benefit of the motorcycle parking that no one uses since the pandemic. Most other cities will use larger, better treatments like this, which make it more difficult for vehicles to use the bike lane and easier for bikes to exit if they need to. Unfortunately, the materials that San Francisco chose and the way they installed them have sent people to the hospital riding over them in dry weather, which means you've got to get off your bike. And if this were an active emergency, I would do that in a heartbeat, but this was not an emergency. There isn't even a door there. The door is around the corner in the parking lot over 80 feet away. And if you're simply finishing up paperwork, as the fire department has reported, that should be done somewhere that is not a bike lane. If a city vehicle is in a travel lane, they should have emergency lights on. This gives everyone on the road a heads up to stay clear. Watch out. go slow. If it's no longer an emergency, move somewhere where you won't endanger someone, like this driver did. And blocking a car travel lane is always an option. I cannot kill a motorist, but they sure can kill me, as so many online commenters have been quick to point out. I am thankful for our first responders. They have difficult jobs, no question. But if their job is to help people, they should also be careful not to endanger people. Thank you for taking the time to watch this. I hope that this can bring about some positive change. In closing, people should be able to travel safely without a motor vehicle. These were just some of the incidents in the past few years where drivers have injured and killed people on bikes in San Francisco. Carry that around and you'd be angry too.